Hello and welcome back to the letter. And we're going to be heading to the Ermengarde Mansion, I guess. And I have a feeling something's going to occur there. So, riding to the Ermengarde Mansion in their rice is an awkward affair. Not only am I worried about scuffing the expense leather seats, but I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple spat. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them staring at each other anytime. Nobody's saying anything, up until Mr. Wright tells his valet to turn the damn radio off. And for a moment, I think that he might start, but instead he just stays quiet, and so do the rest of us. In the end, the sufferable silence stays. Nothing's been ever good every time we've come back here, so I've never been so glad to see the house. Stepping out of a car and up the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride, and I could finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never fails to amaze me, and wonder every time I see it as well. I realize not much of whatever. Miss Wright moves towards the front door, keys in hand, and I could already hear Mr. Wright plotting.
Alright, Hans, we're going to go in. But I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it. Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
Scouts the property and circle the perimeter on foot. You do know this is 46 acres of land, sir.
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass. Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use. I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating. Go, mush.
Okay, whatever. Someday I'd like to ask how Johann can even stand and tolerate the man. Why doesn't he just quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. Even I'm a bit put off by our mutual employer, and the only thing that keeps me from bailing is the fact that we've already signed the contract. At least I'll be working with them during the duration of the project. He works with them every day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
Well, okay then. And yet you stick around, Johann. Whatever. Someday I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, he'll be away from Mr. Wright, if only for a little while. We're able to enter the mansion after a bit of standing out there in the sun. Whoops. This wretched strange sunlight that is far too alien and rare, yet so weird. This comes in the house. There had been a bit of problem with the the missus not knowing which key was which. First item on the agenda would be the grand staircase. Also, my nose plugged, I didn't realize that. Seemed sturdy during the open house, but a closer inspection might say otherwise. There are no obvious marks of damage nor wear and tear, probably rather during renovation. Peeking under the grand carpet, the wood is properly installed, with the bark placed down to prevent cupping. Carpet itself could use a vacuum though. Structural conditions, from what I could see without actually dismantling the thing, looks to be in good shape. The handrails and support posts are firm. The work on it should be commended. I can't look much more into the rest of the foyer. However, Mr. Wright starts to hurry us into checking the dining hall.
So, what do you think? Certainly we can't turn this area into a garage.
It's Jacobean architecture. I'd say these would be pilasters and not buttresses, but you never really know. They really liked mixing up these elements. You could say it was pretty avant-garde at the time. We might hit a support beam if we're not careful.
And in layman's terms?
From what I see here, we could risk great damage to the house if we try to turn the dining hall into a garage.
Okay. The man doesn't look too pleased at this. There's a look of disappointment before he sighs and looks around the place with an air of defeat. When he moves to speak, I dread another unreasonable demand again.
This will stay a dining hall then. But if I may have another request instead, at least spruce the place up with some flowers, some plants, or something. It feels so old and dead in here.
That's hardly unreasonable. Daffodils are a must, I presume.
Look that passed between the two of them. There's a genuine look of fondness there. This is the first I've seen such an exchange between the two of them. If anyone are to see them like this, there's a little doubt that they'd love each other.
Of course, and I want a garden full of them. Now, if you excuse me, I'd like to look at the rest of the house. I'll just be around here downstairs, if anybody needs me.
That leaves Miss Wright and
He's quite fond of them, you know.
I can imagine. He looked terribly upset when we told him he can't have his garage.
I meant the daffodils. We always have a vase full of them in every house we own. Somewhere, I'd like to think. They may be about his mother. He never talks about her. I don't even know her name. He likes to flatter, claim that they remind him of me, but he's always loved the flowers, even before we married.
Part of me wants to say maybe he's related to the Miss Ermengarde, but I'm like, that's too far out of the line of what's ever happening in this mansion. I'm like, maybe? I mean, it was a surprise as it is to find out Hannah knew about Rebecca, so that was years ago. Marianne keeps mentioning her related to Hannah, so I have no clue what that means. So, much like the piano, I didn't take him for a person who likes flowers. Daffodils least of all. What's next? Am I going to find out that Mr. Wright saves kittens from burning buildings?
I'll go and snoop about upstairs. You go and do whatever it is that you have to do.
When she goes without even asking if I need her, I'm left standing to stare at the walls. Really, I don't need to do a thorough inspection of the building itself. It isn't really part of an interior designer's job. The architecture in me is committed to doing this task with every project. If I'm going to make a living space that has both form and function, might as well make sure that the entirety of it is safe for my clients. Since I'm already here, I roam around the dining hall to check things off my punch list, if you will. But when it's time to move on, I hesitate. Mr. Wright said he would be somewhere around here on the ground floor, and I really didn't want to be alone with whiskey. I have to look through the place eventually, sure, but on the other hand, I could do it later when he's gone. I could go upstairs first if I want to. Okay. Wait, what's it? Wait, ground floor or check the first floor? What does that mean? I thought they were both the same. What? Maybe I should. Wait, hold on. Let me go backpedal this information. If I'm going, since I'm right here, Mr. Wright, he would be somewhere on the ground floor. On the other hand, I could do it later when he's gone. If I go upstairs first, if I want to. Okay, so first floor means upstairs. Okay. I mean, we could potentially improve our bond with Hannah. Maybe. I mean, sure. Let's go check the first floor. Already seen enough of this floor during the open house. Of course, I know that this is just a convenient excuse. I just don't want to be in the same room as whiskey anytime soon. So I might as well just go upstairs first. And that's where Mrs. Wright should be at, right? The banisters on the grand staircase landing are solid and at a proper height. Any lower and they would be trouble. There's a small catch on the carpet, though, but as long as nobody tries to run down the stairs until it gets fixed, things should be alright. And the stained glass? Art. Stored, no doubt, in the image of the last lady and Lord of Ermengarde. Or was it supposed to be until Lady Charlotte's fiancé was brutally murdered? By a witch? A witch of all things. From what I've read, you'd think the historians of this place will be a lot more excruciating filtering out stuff like that. I'm amazed they bothered with it, instead of replacing it with some generic cookie-cutter design. The entire piece alone would have cost roughly 500, even £1 million. Lady Charlotte Ermengarde and her beloved. Looking at the mosaic, it's not too far a stretch of imagination to believe that the depicted image could be Mr. and Mrs. Wright. Yeah, because that's the thing, because they look very similar in ways. Because when I first saw the opening trailer, I'm like, wait, so it's the same people? I don't understand, but no, they're different. Anyways, it can be easily assumed as such if one doesn't know the history of the mansion. A relic piece like this should be protected by the government as a landmark. But what can I do about it? Like, how important are these people? Seriously. So, walking to the east wing, I try. Oh, no, don't go to that room. Don't go to that room. Walking to the east wing, I try to go into the theater, but is met with an obstacle. The obstacle is that it's locked. 2 doors, and both of them are locked. I'd be frustrated would be if I hadn't snuck off while the Wrights were having their little business meeting with Miss Cooper before to take a peek. Oh, okay. Wait, no. I don't know. Is it with them? I don't know. Oh, let me look in my finance journal. No. Yeah, because they're on their own right now. Because that was yesterday, correct? Day before. Never mind. With what Mr. Wright wanted, we'd have to install a powerful projector, the type they use in cinemas, and a projection screen. The seats would have to be reupholstered. I think that's how you say it. There to be any comfortable, and the walls will have to be covered in the dark material. Paint, wallpaper, or install wall-to-wall carpeting. I keep thinking like, God dang it. Really have all the rooms I could be jealous of it. It's this one. I could just picture myself in there watching old kung fu flicks on a weekend-long marathon. Whatever. Makes me wonder what kind of movie Miss Wright would like. Rom-coms, perhaps? Her husband, on the other hand, I'd rather not think about. Then again, maybe it'd be weird to figure out what he wants to watch, cause maybe it's different from what we could expect from him. I'll just be surprised, basically. So in the middle of my notion and plan, I don't even realize that I'm not alone until I'm caught standing in front of a locked door like a fool.
Were you meaning to go in there? I'm afraid we won't be able to open it up today.
Okay.
Oh well, I wanted to, but it's fine. I can still survey the rest of the place.
Apologies, but the key was missing when they were handed over. They told us that they'd get right back to us with it.
What? But aren't they supposed to hand over all the keys once property changes hands? That can be grounds to file a complaint.
They were already kind enough to let us move in so early. There's no need to raise a fuss about it. Worst comes to worst, we can call for a locksmith.
Okay. The air is heavy and somber when she grows quiet and glances out the window. Out towards the vast expanse that surrounded what would be their house. Their home. Then she looks back at me with a sigh and a bitter smile.
Flowers. Yellow flowers. Daffodils, dandelions, and sunflowers and the sort all up front. Just a whole garden of them. They'll make the house look lovely, won't they?
Of course. A garden is a wonderful addition to any home.
As I say this, her eyes roam over me, scrutinizing and thoughtful. I have to hold back the shiver that threatens to run down my spine at being inspected so closely.
Yes, it must be nice.
We're still talking about the gardens, yes?
I mean, not having to worry about what another person thinks of you.
What do you mean by that?
She lifts her hand and points to her wedding ring before it falls listlessly to her side.
Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I didn't marry Luke. There'll be no fights about walk-in closets or silly helipads. I could do with this place as my heart desires until there's nothing but content. Then again, I wouldn't have bought this place if it wasn't a gift for him. I probably wouldn't even be in Luxbourne if it wasn't for him. Maybe I would have moved to London, Manchester, or Birmingham. I might have even left the country altogether. France, Germany, Spain, Canada, Sweden, even America. The possibilities would have been endless.
Maybe I chose the wrong decision when I was playing her to stick with Luke, because I feel like she might have been better off not being with Luke, now that I think about it. I don't know what to say to that. What's there to say?
I'm sorry, I must sound so petty and ungrateful. I do love him. So very much, even if he can be a bit difficult at times.
Oh no, not at all. I'm just confused why you're telling me this, of all people.
Just a whim, I think. Just flights of fancy, that's all. Don't you ever think about one decision you've made in your life and wonder how much would change if you chose to do things differently?
Well, yeah.
I try not to dwell on the past, ma'am.
Obviously something bad happened to her in the past, so I'm curious on why. What happened to you? Keyword is try, of course. Thinking of the past brings up too many ghosts. Memories of her. Who is her? And I do wonder what would change if I just said yes when she asked for me. Oh no. Oh, I got a feel I know what the story is going to be. So I've listened to one of the songs to this game, and they mentioned something about an answer came too late in the song. So I'm like, oh, is that referring to Marianne? Maybe she'd still be with me. I return to the present, just like I said. I try not to dwell on the past. You must have been quite the pair. Why don't you decide on your own? Oh my god! Hold on, let me save this. Now that's gonna matter, but why don't you decide on your own? Fuck! Damn it! Not what I wanted. Foyer seems simple enough. I mean, it doesn't have to be as difficult as she makes that.
Why don't you
right?
decide on your own?
Meant nothing against Miss Fry, of course. The whiskey bugged me to no end. By law, she would be owner of the house. Well, unless they signed a joint property ownership anyway, which is a rare thing as far as I know, especially among these highbrow types. Sure, they can actually love their spouse. I don't doubt the possibility. But money is money and makes people do the most horrible things.
It's your
sometimes.
house. You can paint the whole place pink if you want, and there's not much he can do.
The somber expression she had changes to a look of
I
contempt.
could, but we are husband and wife. Equal partners in marriage, Marianne, though I can see that you don't understand.
Fuck.
This is his home as much as it is mine. I'm not going to go behind his back over a room. And how dare you suggest that?
Fuck. I didn't mean anything like that. Oh my god. I should just went with my gut. Fine. How do I even talk her down without causing further offense? It is in my attempt to shake off my own drama that I end up tripping right into theirs. Because really, I have no business meddling in their affairs with my clients, unless it involved interior design or architecture. Yet, here I am, opening my mouth and yapping. I do hate to see a good woman down.
That's not what I meant by it. I just mean that maybe you don't have to get the approval of your husband all the time.
Yeah, basically.
Or well, okay, fine. I know nothing about married life, Mrs. Wright. You're right about that. But I still think you're allowed your indulgences every now and then.
Of course, my form of indulgence meant buying old slate 78 RPM country records. Records which I don't even dare use with my gramophone. For her, it could be very well be buying entire houses.
That's just my take on it. A perfect relationship is as rare as hen's teeth. You got what you got. I mean, you're doing well enough without my advice. Sure, look it.
That looks to place it her somewhat. She looks away and starts to favor the view outside once more with a faraway look in her eye.
Feel free to look around the rest of the house. Everything but the theatre should be open. Just call if there's need of me.
Something in her tone sounds sad.
Of course, Mrs. Wright.
I really shouldn't have opened my big mouth in the first place. This sort of thing only gets me in trouble. Keep it clean, keep it simple, and stick to business, that's all. Be professional. But I failed to do that just because of a pretty face. When she turns to leave, she glances back at me before disappearing into the foyer. The turn of noise does not make things comfortable. I look out the window from where she was standing, and I move on, alone with nothing but my thoughts and her.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Thought the old biddy would never leave.
What? It's utter madness, this hearing things. Against the stress, though I don't know what exactly I'm stressed about. If meeting Miss Wright has really thrown me for a loop, I'd be worried. If I'm developing some sort of psychosis or disorder, well, I'd call the doctor. But hopefully it isn't that. Not right here, and not right now. I mean, it could just be that personal talking cricket. The conscience, so to speak, and I'm only noticing now, though if it is, it isn't very helpful. Pushing the dilemma of voices in my head aside, I go back to work. But I could barely make it a few steps before everything tilts and shifts. I don't really stumble, but it feels like I'm being thrown off my feet and the rest of the world just follows. Though my feet stay firmly on the ground, and even if I stay mostly upright, I feel like I've been heaved and put off balance. I should close my eyes in hopes of willing the sudden sense of vertigo away, but when I open them... here it comes. Yup! Maybe I shouldn't have gone on my own. While I don't feel any less sick because of the sight that greets me, blood dripped from the walls and ceiling, pooling downwards and seeping into the curtains and the carpet. A wave of nausea stronger than the last hits me along with the overpowering stench of blood and gore. Oh yeah, there's stench. I just see smoke rising up. I want to bolt. The rational part of my head is telling me to flee. And I would have gladly done as I asked if only I didn't hear her.
I'm here, Marianne. Come on. I have something to show you.
I could have ignored it. Would have ignored it if I only heard it in my head. I swear this time it's coming from one of the rooms. Much farther into the study. I feel compelled to pay attention. I can't just turn around and leave. Not when it's her. I didn't even think as I follow the sound of her voice and I'm getting ready for QTEs. Let me just back up a bit so I can get my keyboard out. Who's her? Lorraine? Lovely Amanda Lorraine Lessier Fiona. She's my friend and the only one that I had at St. Samanthan's. I was a scholar, a charity case in a school for privileged and prestigious young girls. They all looked down at me, if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. All except her.
Oh, stop your crying. You know better than to listen to Maeve. Why, I ought to teach that butterface a lesson.
What?
Wait, no, lass! I don't want you getting into trouble with the sisters again!
Who's this? Because this isn't the ghost. Because the ghost has dark black hair.
Relax. It's not like I'm going to stomp her and her lackey's arses flat like last time. come on, let's just go back to our dorm room. I don't want to be on my Tobler while you go get yourself punished. You'll be fine. Gip's there with you.
Lorraine was there when I needed her, through my highs and lows. Having her as a friend made being in a strange school away from my father all the more tolerable. She saw this poor helpless girl was kept down and shunned by everyone else, and being the kind soul that she was, she rescued me. So brave, so beautiful. She was something else.
I'll eat all the chocolates stashed away in your closet if you go. I can get more. Just don't go complaining to me if you get a tummy ache because of that. Well, you don't want to get detention on a weekend, do you? It's a Friday. We can go to town and have some karaoke. And we can have a go at druids and demons again. You're not going to miss that just because of Maeve, are you?
Sometimes I question why I did to deserve a friend like her. The darkest corners of my mind, her treacherous thoughts lurked. I thought that she only felt sorry for me. Maybe she was just being a good Samaritan, offering a helping hand. And perhaps I had been too selfish to return the favor.
You have a point. I'll just kick her arse on Monday then.
Okay.
That's not what I mean! I know what you mean, Em. Wait.
Em?
Where are you going? You just told me you wouldn't cause trouble. I still have something to do. Don't worry, it's not like I'm going to burn down her dorm room or something criminal like that. I'm just going to talk to her. Maybe it'll make it so that her room smells like a dog's air biscuit. That'll make it an excellent weekend. I'll see you in a bit, Marianne. Lots of tubblers.
Lots of tubblers. Okay. Because when she told me that she loved me, I couldn't admit that I felt the same way. Not to her, and not even to myself. It was wrong. I was taught that way. Husband and wife, one man and a woman. Unclean and pure. I prayed for her and for our sins and for salvation. I want to apologize for disregarding her feelings so callously. It must have been like a slap to the face for her. But life had gotten in the way. Exams, which were trivial in hindsight now, took top priority. I had to keep my grades up to keep my scholarship, for my father. I told myself I would apologize to her when those were over, that I need to focus first and not let anything distract me. It had been easy when she avoided me like the plague. She was upset, I get that. I feel sad. What happened to Lorraine? Did she die? Or did she just move on? I hope that's what happened. The way it seems, I'm like, is she really gone? Let me save.
At 7 in the morning, students found a 5th-year dead.
Wait, I thought I had time to make things right, but she is dead. Because that's what this radio newscast is about, isn't it?
Assumed to have fallen from her dormitory window.
They told us that it was an accident. That was the official statement. But I knew better. She was dead because of me.
Maeve had a hoot and I kicked the bucket, didn't she?
What?
Ding dong, the witch is dead!
She had, though she didn't say which. Lorraine.
Well, at least Maeve had the courage to admit how she felt about me.
Wait, what? I didn't even know how long I'd been stuck here in a trance. In the mirror, Lorraine smiles at me. She's as beautiful as I remember her. Then... What the? I feel bile rise up in my throat as her clean image wraps into what she looked like when they had found her dead lying on cold, hard ground. So whatever this ghost is knows about everyone's past then, doesn't it? Good Saint Infinite, great wonder worker in every affliction of mind and body, help me. Oh god, I would end it here. I'm seeing things, hearing things, but I need to finish Am I going completely insane? I can't hear her but at her. I hope and pray that it's enough to, well, whatever this is to go away. It doesn't even immediately register in my head that I can't sleep.
You, on the other hand, can't even look me in the eye.
This isn't real. You're not. You're dead!
I'm dead. Because of you. And you won't even look at me. Look at me.
My breathing quickens and I can feel my heart being torn apart by her words.
I'm so sorry, Lorraine.
Look at me!
Do I get a choice to look at her? I don't wanna. I can't take it because she's right. It was my fault. Least I could do is look at what I've done. Lorraine, broken and bleeding, looks at me with such a hate-filled eyes. An unnatural smile stretches across her face and I can only see malice in it. Cause it's the fucking ghost. And then she lunges at the mirror, ripples around her floor, glass parting like the water's surface for her. She grabs my shoulder and I can feel her nails dig deep, sharp even though the fabric of my through the fabric of
There you are.
Continue. Let me try that again. I don't know. It was A and D. Okay. Yeah. We've done this before. Dead by Daylight. I know this.
You're coming with me.
What? No, come on. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh my god, this. Come on.
You're coming with me.
Oh, come on. I keep getting so close. God damn you, Lorraine. Can I just... Okay, how are we gonna do this? This is so hard. Come on, I've done Dead by
You
Daylight.
love me.
Okay. Gosh, typing A&D is so difficult. Apologies spilled through my lips. A tear clouded my vision. Wait. Relationship. Yeah, nothing's gonna. Okay. It's being weird. I won't give in to the madness. With every bit of strength I have left, I struggle to get away from her. Fear grips and threatens to choke. So far, this is the least scariest QTE compared to the others. I endure, I escape. And without turning back, I stumbled back out. In my panic, I don't even care to look where I'm going. With one hand on the wall to steady me, I just hobble as fast as I can away from the study. Away from that mirror. Freedom is bittersweet. I'm free from the madness that seems running out into the hallway reveals it to be in a pristine condition. But it means I've turned my back on Lorraine again. I have no plans on stopping, not until I know I'm safe. If that means walking back to Luxembourg, as ridiculous as the idea is, then so be it. Someone suddenly grabs hold of me, however, fingers digging deep into my shoulder and my heart nearly stops. Whiskey, maybe? My body seizes and I nearly scream.
Marianne, you look awful. I mean, not awful, but...
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have to end it here because this might take longer than I want it to be. If I just keep going, because I really want to know right now. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, got the like or up button. If you want to see me probably panic more about QTEs, go to the subscribe or follow button to be notified of the next part of the video. You got anything to say? Say something down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Comrades.